With Jon Jones' 10 straight wins in the division, there was always a need for new challengers to his title. UFC 172's co-main event will feature two such competitors. San Diego-based Phil Davis has been a mainstay of the division for the past 4 years, but still seeks that signature win, which would propel him into a long-awaited title shot.
Other than an impressive set of lats that he brings to the cage, I think Phil Davis's best attribute is certainly his wrestling. I mean, this was a 4-time All-American wrestler at Penn State.
While I was in college, I was a 2-time Big Ten champion, 2-time national finalist, and a 4-time All-American, and 2008 national champion. Everybody know what we're doing? All right, 1, 2, 3. I ran wrestling class today. I'm just going over a couple of things that I know the team needs to work on. Step around, lift. You gotta add some reward and some punishment within practice. You need to give guys a real world sense of urgency, a sense of, I will lose something if I don't take the man to the mat. He does 10 push-ups. I will win something if I stand on my feet. As soon as his hand touches the mat, I win. Go. Break his grip. That's all you gotta do. Nice. If we want to be the best in the world, we have to work as a team to get there. It's not a group of individuals here. You know, I invest in their training, helping them. When my training camp comes around, they're investing in me, helping me be the best in the world. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lines!
Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis!
Phil Davis is able to use his athletic ability and his wrestling to take the fight where he wants it to be.
His jiu-jitsu is impressive as well, especially from top position. So it's not about just taking you down and staying on top and letting the clock run out. It's about taking you down, getting on top of you, and looking for opportunities to finish the fight.
He's got an anaconda. 10 seconds. Rolls into it. Wow, he might get it. This all over! Phil Davis!
The fact that Phil Davis beat Alexander Gustafsson should tell you all you need to know. He can beat anybody on the planet.
Got the whole building singing along as Lyoto Machida makes his way to the octagon.
Going on the road is always a tough proposition, but going on the road in front of that crowd in Brazil against a Brazilian is always extremely dangerous.
Lyoto Machida is not someone that you go in and you dominate. He's not somebody that's easy to fight against, no matter what style you're bringing to the cage. And so this was a very technical affair.
At the time he was the #1 contender, it was a huge opportunity for me.
Machida, he's got the highest takedown defense average in light heavyweight history.
If you get a guy that's patient and willing to wait, you can outstrike him by staying outside, and then when he comes forward, take him down. And that's what happened.
Phil's got to use his time wisely and do some damage.
Good shots to the midsection.
You look at those takedowns, and I think that was what was most impressionable on the judges.
Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis!
I just keep moving up the ladder. There's only so many spots before you fight the champion.
I've always had weird strength. My granddad used to tell me how strong I was. When I was little, we were putting together a wagon. He told me to tighten up a screw one time, a bolt. So I was just tightening and tightening it and tightening it, and it just broke in half. It was like I'd never seen anybody break a bolt in half from tightening so tight. Every time I swing, every time I punch, everything that I do, it has bad intentions behind it.
Goes down! Anthony Johnson with the knockout!
Anthony Johnson's first run in the UFC was really impressive.
Fight! Big combinations early by Reiner. Reiner's hurt, and Anthony's down, and it is all over!
Anybody they put in there, you could see it in their eyes. They were afraid of what Anthony Johnson was going to do to him.
Anthony Johnson, a fighter that used to fight at 170 pounds, if you stand next to this man, you have no concept of how he ever made 170 pounds.
That's it. He goes down! That's it. Oh! It is all over! Wow!
When you talk about Anthony Johnson's first UFC run, you can't overlook the fact that this guy struggled extremely with his weight and just could not make that welterweight cut.
177.5.
177.5! That battle for him making weight was tougher than the opponents he was facing in the octagon sometimes. 176 for Anthony!
At the time, I just wanted to fight 170 because I felt like I was bigger, faster, stronger than anybody in the weight class.
The thing about Anthony Johnson's weight problems was codified in the Vitor Belfort fight. They're going to fight at middleweight. This is a guy that had been fighting at 170 pounds. Now they're going up to 185, and he comes in at almost 200 pounds.
97. 197. He has failed to make the 185-pound limit.
And I think at that point, everyone knew that this guy just cannot continue fighting here.
You know, the UFC dropped me. I was like, what do I do now? All I know is, you know, fight for the UFC. I had to get some sense in my head that, hey, I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm ruining my career. I was just stubborn. I was so immature. You know, I hadn't grew as a person. I just should have been fighting at a higher weight class sooner than what I am now.
He had to go back to the regional scene, go back to the smaller organizations and try to fight his way back up to UFC level. He did exactly that.
Now he's settled at 205 pounds.
205 is a great spot for Anthony Johnson to be at.
Anthony Johnson was so impressive in his UFC sabbatical. 6 straight fights, all victories.
He's a rare case of someone that left the UFC and comes in with more momentum than when he left.
This should be a fight that really does make people take note of Anthony Johnson once again.
Neil Millinson moved to St.
That is nasty.
Today we are working on getting my hooks in, some rear naked chokes, a couple of anacondas, working on using my wrestling positions to improve my grappling game.
Let's just switch that foot. There you go. Man,
Just constantly staying athletic and dynamic and changing directions and making angles.
let go. To the front, no deep, and then drop that shoulder. Push me flat.
We're making a lot of steps quick. This year, you're going to see Phil Davis have a lot of submission victories or victories with strikes. It's not going to be a decisions this year. I think the fans are going to be really happy.
I don't really have anybody imitating Phil Davis. I have guys that are just well-rounded. And all of us have a different style of fighting. I just train to fight and just to be ready for whatever Phil could possibly throw at me. You know, my boy Rashad got hurt getting ready for Daniel Cormier, but you know, Rashad has been there for me since day one, helping me push myself and helping me improve.
AJ's been my main training partner, so any capacity I can come in and help him, just be there to support him, it goes a long way. What I'm going to do is I was filming on my phone. I'm going to email it to him, and I'm going to let him know what I think about his rounds and what I've seen and what I think he did really good and what I think he can do even better. This fight coming up, you're going to see a different AJ, a guy who's excited, a guy who's hungry, and a guy who's determined to win.
After training, sometimes I call my grandmother. I'm doing good, trying to stay focused, just to hear her voice because she loves talking to me, which I love talking to her too. I'm not hungry. No, I'm not tired, I'm fine. She knows when I mean business because she doesn't hear from me near as much as she usually does whenever I don't have a fight. Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. Yeah, I'm tough too. She's good. She's my #1 supporter.
Oh, yes, sir.
You know, right now I need to get a haircut because I'm looking a little scruffy. Yo, I look too much like the dude I'm fighting like this. You can't be fighting each other and looking the same.
But my watch glows and my chain glows. Yeah, they all know you ain't.
I'm starting to steal Rashad Evans swag because you never seen Rashad without a haircut. I'm trying to follow his footsteps. Every time I get ready for a fight, they want to check my eyes because I got poked in the eye years back.
We love to see the fighters. They come through here, and we love it because we have a lot of like 90-year-old patients. They provide a lot of entertainment for our office.
You see those guys that get in the cage and beat each other up?
That's you.
I'm one of those crazy guys.
Look straight ahead, right here at my earring. What we do is check them just to make sure that they don't have any medical issues that would preclude them from fighting. 15 is the pressure here. We did a pressure check. Can you read those?
Yeah, LDVTA.
Vision check. That's perfect. Some of the common things that we see are orbital fractures, retinal detachments and tears, which we can fix in like 2 minutes if we find them in time. And if they're cleared, then they're okay to fight. And if they're not, we try to fix them up and get them fight ready. Okay, Anthony, you are clear to fight. Everything looks great. Good luck on the fight, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
It's my bag of tricks right here. Flipping tires, using the sledgehammer, doing Olympic lifts, those type of things are what's traditionally done in mixed martial arts. They're not very effective because of the way they load the muscle. Phil Davis was kind of looking to go in a different direction with his athletic performance, and he knew it would require doing some things that aren't traditionally done in mixed martial arts. We're teaching a lot of dynamic and explosive movement through his hips. The hips are pivotal to the type of movements you can do in a mixed martial art fight. Try to come up, boom. If he's pressed against the cage, that's the torque and the ability for him to kind of pop those hips and get away from his opponent. Same thing if he's on the ground, it gives him the ability to pop and turn. That was perfect. On the slant board, we're trying to teach him to be more able to balance on unstable surfaces. It's going to work your foot and your ankle strength, as well as increasing motor sensitivity of the toes. Phil Davis, wingspan of a pterodactyl. That's how we're going to build explosiveness, by using science instead of just the same old thing that everybody else is doing. Good. That's it. Good job. Beautiful.
To me, the Anthony Johnson-Phil Davis fight is going to be Davis trying to pick him apart, playing chess, and Anthony Johnson just wanting to come out and smash him over the head with the chessboard.
It's my chance to show everybody that, hey, me being on a 6-fight winning streak isn't a fluke.
With Phil Davis, this is a risky fight for him because he's facing a guy who could legitimately knock him out. He can't afford to have that happen if he wants to have that title fight happen anytime in the next year or so.
1-2-1-2.
My job is to win. I can control that. I can do my job. And when they want me to fight for the title, I'll fight for the title.
I just don't see what he can do to me. This isn't a wrestling match. This is a fight. I can put anybody out, whoever it is. They know I can punch them one time, kick them one time, and they're done.